I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome to anyone who is appearing, as well as our technical staff, everyone else, to the regular meeting of October 14, 2020. I apologize, I put my little packet together and did not look. Are there minutes?
No, we didn't have minutes.
I apologize. We have been extremely busy and I did not get to transcribe the minutes.
Well, if we can get something, because we may have people visiting the website
I
for
know.
purposes of public record.
Exactly. So I will do my best to work on
Oh,
those.
yeah, trust me, I understand the work. Well, we got one or two bills, 7 or 8.
I will say the print elect for the ballot drop box, the Kim stroller for the sidewalk, those are paid for with grant money. The American flags and poles for the feather sign, we're using the grant money. You know, at the bottom there, the foreign imprint for the stylus pins, that'll be paid for with grant money. And actually, the
signs for the
envelopes-
ballot box, was that grant money?
No, I didn't go ahead and do that.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Yeah. The Ohio envelope for the absentee envelopes, is grant money. And actually, the Freedom Vote paper from RBM, I think I was using grant money to pay for that.
Same way with did you pay the security alarm annual fee out of grant? Or was it-
No.
Okay.
So we paid for the security system
system,
with
yeah.
the grant money, but not for the fee for the service.
Anybody have any questions?
I'll make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Well, we have correspondence.
And you have a copy of each of the directives in your packet. One of them is the Secretary of State's office that gave us health guidance, you know, on how to set up our polls and everything. And there's an updated version of that that's in there.
Are we pretty well on track with all of that?
Yeah, and we've received from the Secretary of State's office so far, we've gotten an order of gloves for the polling locations, disinfecting wipes, gowns, masks, and face shields. We're waiting on, we ordered some alcohol wipes that can be used on the touch screens. Those haven't came yet, but everything else is here.
With regard to the clothing, if you will there be enough that if we have to run to some facility or something and they want us to dress up?
Yeah, we had 250, so there'd be enough, because for poll workers, we send out at least 200 for poll workers, so that would leave some extra for us.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking that in the unlikely situation that we get a call at the last moment that someone went in or whatever, and they're gonna let us do it, they don't wanna do it in a hospital. They may well want us to wear a hazmat gown or whatever that we, those things we're getting, as well as a shield and a mask and, suit up.
Yeah.
So we'll be in good shape there.
And the gowns we got, they're like a clear plastic.
I think if I'm not mistaken, 16 and 22 were the interconnected directive.
Yeah, about drop boxes.
Right. So where we're at right now, as I understand it, whatever I guess it's the 10th district, which is Franklin County's Court of Appeals has reversed the trial judge on the drop boxes,
Right.
extra, if you will,
Right,
around
other-
the county.
Right, ones other than at the board office.
Right. So that's the current state, and they'll make a decision. I'm surprised they haven't already done so. And I'm assuming somebody will try to run to the Ohio Supreme Court, and I would assume that they would try to do something fast. But I've been wrong about courts probably more often than I've been correct, so who knows what their process.
So the current directive stands that one ballot box per county or more, but it has to be
Has to
on
be on the
county.
grounds
Or at our office.
and our office.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it county grounds or county board?
No, it's the Board of
At the Board
Elections
of Elections
office,
office.
so
Okay.
we can't run to Gilman and slap one up.
Okay.
But arguably, if we had a lot of traffic, like if I'm Franklin County and I had, you know, a couple of separate driveway entrances into the board, you know,
Right, office.
I might want to put up 2 or 3 just so
Traffic.
cars aren't lined up, you know,
Right,
a
well-
mile back. Because I think what he did agree to, at least in Franklin County, is he agreed to put one up across the street. And I think they're on Morse Road, so that's not a tiny
No,
street. That's 6 lanes and a left-hand turn at a minimum. But that was for Franklin County's sake, not Washington County.
Right.
And right now, our little box is
It's
doing pretty good.
Yeah, we took the tall nailed, totes, but it was full last night, when we took the stuff out of it.
I visited here a few times and just noticed a steady, either walk up or drive up business at that box. So people are taking advantage of it, which I think is just fine with us.
Mhm.
Have we, are we pretty comfortable with the moisture level and all of that?
yeah,
at
we
this
looked at
point?
that and it's not coming from necessarily from the inside. When you pull it down, the rain can't necessarily get back into it, but if it is raining, it can rain a little bit on where you pull the drawer
The
down.
Flat down or whatever?
But was there any moisture by the time, because we're
You
picking it
didn't
up.
notice any last night.
Okay, I picked it up in the mornings and obviously there's more moisture in the morning.
Yeah.
We did find in our new printer, there was a silicone pack that I put out there, that might help dry up any of the moisture that's in there. But so far, we're collecting twice a day.
Yeah, well, that's
So-
good.
So it's not staying in there, and if we're not working this weekend, which I'm praying we don't, but if we aren't working this weekend, I'll probably still come in or have Mandy
Yeah,
or
we can
somebody
do
meet
that.
me, obviously my partisan team needs to do this. Is still need to collect it at least once a day.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
once, yeah.
Well, yeah, especially, I guess, if potentially we're filling it up. The other thing that we can't control, and I think I mentioned, you have somebody that gets out of their car to walk and it's raining, and they're simply carrying it,
Mhm.
it's gonna get wet,
Right.
the envelope. They're gonna slide it down and throw it in, so it'll share some of its moisture, so maybe that pack will help
Will
suck
help
some of
alleviate
that
some of
out.
that.
And you're getting to it quickly enough.
Yeah.
And so the only other thing have we started yet opening and flattening?
We're hoping to, if not today, tomorrow. 3 of our temporary workers, 2 of our temporary workers are out the rest of the week. And then we're gonna lose 1 more on either tomorrow or Friday. So what I was hoping with the delivery guys, because you really need only 2 people back helping to vote. And right now we've had 4. If we can get the other 2 that can start zipping the envelopes and flattening the ballots, because we want to get those nice and flattened and make sure they're dry and good. To begin, we can start scanning in time.
All right.
So,
If you guys would wanna help do that anytime.
yes,
you're
if
more than
you're
welcome
not
as
busy and
well.
wanna come in.
And you're gonna use the opener, the
Yes,
fancy deal?
To get in, yeah.
I got it right,
Opener.
it's still working, it's just spitting out a lot of dust
The waste.
and particles
Yeah.
from the envelopes. So I've got to call into Pitney Bowes. We've had that machine, we think, maybe 15 years,
I think
13
about
years.
I don't think it's been that long, has it?
I think about 10.
Well, there was no maintenance agreement on it. This is the first time we've ever had to have maintenance on it. And it probably just needs a good cleaning. We did take it apart, because, we actually talked to somebody from Pitney Bowes and they said sometimes a slice of paper gets caught into the knife. So Melissa and Mandy took it apart, and as much as we felt comfortable in doing so, and cleaned that off, but it's still producing that dust.
I'm wondering if there's a sharpening of whatever the little
And that could be
blade part.
too, because if it's 10 years old and it's never been
So it's
sharpened,
getting dull, so it's more grabbing than it is just,
it could
Well,
be.
it's just, what it is, I mean, it's slicing okay, but it's, the dust isn't going into the collection container where it's supposed to go. It's just flying out everywhere.
oh.
And then when you take those piles of
Well,
envelopes,
again, that
I
could
mean, I
be
couldn't put
the
it at my desk because it looked like
I mean,
it's sweaty.
Yeah,
Really?
it's not all that go into the collection.
Right.
It's getting, I mean, it is, it'll leave a good, we can go back there and see afterwards, it's leaving a good little
It
pile
looks
of
like
dust.
it's snow at your desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, so I have a call
And we're
into
gonna keep
Pitney
it
Bowes.
there.
We had to, since there wasn't
There.
a maintenance agreement on it, we had to get it, we don't have a maintenance agreement on it, so any service call is just gonna be paid out of pocket, and I said, that's fine.
So we need to take care of it, that's me.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because that's the best machine we have.
Do we need a motion or anything on that?
I don't think so, because it's just a service call, so.
So we don't even know yet what it would.
They sent me an email and I have a case referral number,
Okay.
so.
Do you have
The
any-
only thing you may wanna do, just a quick check on, just find out what a new one costs.
She sent me a new one, she sent me the brochure,
Okay.
and I thought after the election, that is something.
Well, we can at least compare also an apple to an orange, because, you know, if they turn around and tell us, well, to
Mhm.
fix it's gonna cost $1,100 and a brand new one costs $1,400.
Yeah,
Right,
I'd probably
I'd
opt
be
for
happy.
the new one, and potentially if we could use grant money, then
They got you, bud.
right.
even all the
They
better.
know, they know you need it. Now, I will
What
say,
happened to them?
and I know, yeah. Now, I will tell you, if you've heard the ballots of Franklin County and those, that is one of those huge Pitney Bowes machines that does the stuffing, the folding, the sealing of the envelopes and everything, which is obviously very nice to have if it gives you the correct ballots.
Well, I think they have to feed the ballots in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
so
but
they
then
don't
I've heard
try to
another
run ballots
story
anymore.
that some of those ballots were correct.
You know, it's-
That went to some of them. So, in a wonderful world, it'd be nice to have one of those, but see, everything is still not full proof. So, but yeah, I'm gonna call Pitney Bowes today and see if I don't know where our new service rep will be out of.
Yeah, and you don't have a time. on-
No, because the salesperson, well, Marcia Karnowski happened to come in to vote, and she was the old Pitney Bowes rep. She's the one that got us the information, how we've gotten this far. Because her sticker's still on the Pitney Bowes, and I'm like, well, I know it's known since appointing her, because she's not working there anymore. But she happened to stop in, and I asked her, and she gave me a couple names, and they referred us, and they actually still had us down at the courthouse too. So that's whenever you bought it, you were still down at
Right,
the courthouse. So, but it is working, it's
That's
just,
not been 20 years. That was courthouse when I first started, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know how
Well, we
long you've been up
moved from
here.
the courthouse in 2013.
Okay, so not quite 10 years.
Yeah. when we moved from.
But still, a machine like that and it's working, not maintenance.
I wonder if anyone else could work on the machine other than Pitney Bowes.
Well, since we don't have a maintenance agreement, I guess that wouldn't matter if we could. I know
I
he said
asked-
something
Well, I
to,
asked Pointers when they brought us our new printer and they don't work on them. They don't have anybody trained to work on them.
Probably you won't find anyone because you get them all from Pippy Pebbles.
Yeah.
So,
and there's, I do know that they're kind of a leader in those kind of machines. We've gotten emails and other marketing materials, but I think they've all been Pitney Bowes type machines.
Yeah,
what is the price of the new one approximately?
See, they
She
send
didn't
you the
give you price?
brochures, but they never give you the price.
Oh,
They want you to
okay.
call them.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what that one cost either, but I know it was at least a few thousand.
I'd say it's
I'm
gonna be,
sure.
I'd say it's gonna be at least 10 or more, maybe.
That would be fine. but-
Nothing inexpensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing.
Well, look what a scanner is. They wanted $66,000 for a scanner.
A lot more than 10,000.
Yep. So, but it is needed, so like I say, we'll just see what we're gonna get once he comes in and looks at it and gives us an estimate, and we'll go from there.
Well, I'd say we need to get on that as much as possible,
Yeah,
since it's making the snowstorm in here.
Yeah. Emily brought her vacuum in and we were using her vacuum
Yeah,
to
yeah.
suck up the dust.
Custodian doesn't have a,
we don't have a custodian at this
Yeah.
point because we're still in that, gray
Limbo,
area of the MOU with the Jobs and Family Services. So we are doing our own housekeeping and at this point. Until it's determined what rent we'll pay to Jobs and Family Services. And that's not
How
been
many we
discussed.
do, or what our current one?
our current machine. It was like a DS400.
DS
400.
408 or something, I got it back there at my desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new ones are DL.
This is a DL,
400,
Actually, it might have been a
400 is high speed.
yeah.
Well, we went high speed.
Yeah. All they'll do is say, call us and we'll give you a quote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But other ones run from $300 to $4,000. I just went in and Googled letter openers to see.
you're right.
So you're right, it's a couple bucks. Oh, we also got, and maybe it's further on, but lessons learned from week one of early
Yeah, actually, I
voting.
didn't get that written in the correspondence,
Oh, that's fine.
but that was in the packet.
And it came in our email. So it brought up a question for me, ballot proofing and printing. When, or do we have our ballots or when do they arrive?
I need to ask RBM when they're gonna arrive,
I think you need to stand on their throat.
so, yeah.
Call at least once, if not twice a day. Because Summit County thought they were gonna have ballots for absentee.
Right, well, these people were supposed to pack theirs
And
and
they-
everything and mail them.
Yeah, my
Do
point
everything
being
for
though,
them.
I'm at a point where I think there's no longer, can we trust any vendor to do anything without us standing on their throat?
Well, yes,
Because they're just, there's a huge market for early voting around the United States. So while we may think every state has a machine that prints their own little ballot, I'll bet you that's not even close to the truth. And so these ballot printing companies are probably swamped. And I got a feeling that if there's a fight between Milwaukee, Wisconsin and Marietta, Ohio, we ain't winning.
so,
So, and that could be the order that just came in today. and they go, well, that Marietta is second line, kick that back, we gotta do Milwaukee. And so we could constantly be thrown back. And the only way to get around that is, when is it coming?
Right,
And we're gonna track it by calling you every day to find out where are we at in a pecking order today?
Well, the good news for that is there is a backup plan. Both printers are printing ballots now.
Right. How many
yeah,
did
but I
they
mean, that's not
print?
gonna print.
I was
It
gonna
won't
say,
print, you know, but I'm just saying, there is,
well, arguably, again, if we run low, we're gonna tell people, well, we'll have ballots out to you,
Right,
because we're coming with them.
well, if we get our full order, we're not gonna run low.
yeah,
But I'm just saying, you
Right,
know, this printer business, I don't know if you heard everything. We got a printer that works, we got a printer that didn't work, right?
right.
That Okie data. So they sent us, what was the first one they sent us, a
They
replacement,
were,
a
no, a
loaner?
loaner.
While all of this is going on, we're printing enough ballots, we're going through toner, like Sherman went through Georgia. And so you're borrowing toner,
Right, from
From-
the printers that aren't working.
the one that didn't work and maybe even the loaner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did from both.
so dipped into both of those. Then came a new one, right?
Right.
But of course, it didn't work, nothing worked, because
Well,
they have to set it up.
Right,
And so now it's set up.
yes, because of Joseph here,
God bless you.
yes.
yes.
All right,
So
so
came in
how
on the
many
day
do we
off.
own?
Well, we only
Possess.
own it.
How many do we possess?
possess 4.
And how are we doing
Holiday
on
bears, I'm
toner?
telling you.
Right now, we've got a brand new one that came in a new printer that they sent us, and then we've got 3 more that are not opened yet. And
So-
one in the current.
So
one
we
in our
should be
current.
happy as a clam.
I think we're good. I mean, I'd prefer to have some extra
Oh, yeah.
if we were able to find them.
We should immediately try these machines that are still in the box.
I know, the new one's up and it's.
We have
working.
tried every
The other
machine.
two, the other two don't work.
We've
Yeah,
tried.
The
they've already-
original
yeah, they've
one we
already
got
been
that was
tried.
new, still doesn't work. It's been torn apart by everybody in this room, I think,
Yeah,
and put back together, and they sent a guy who didn't know squadouche or couldn't fix it anyway. I mean, they brought extra parts. We parted stuff out. And then the loaner came and it wasn't set
It was
up or
broken.
something.
Well, it was
And it was
broken.
broken.
that roller was off. of it.
Then they have another one, and of course, the guy who was parting things out, he has no ability to do the tech side. So.
I just sent an
that's how
email
we
to
do
RBM
things.
to ask them.
So anyway,
Or text.
so we're making headway, but again, we're being told ballot proofing and printing. One of the reasons that we are doing the provision, we're not having provisional ballots for people who stroll in today. They've requested an absentee ballot. They come in today and say, I want an early vote. The staff votes them early. No provisional ballot. They put it through the machine. Now, when they signed in, we have now stopped them from voting a second time with an absentee ballot. They're told, am I correct, that when they show up here and they don't have their ballot, would they be so kind as to get it and get it to us? The one we mailed. And some people have done that. There's some that have been soiled, etc. But at least one lady, who apparently is about age 70,
Yeah,
voted in person and then mailed in her absentee ballot to be counted.
well, hand carried
We
it.
think, and carried,
Yeah, hand carried it and voted.
voted. Not to give it to us and go, oh, by the way, I voted this, but I voted early, so soil it. So that one, I think we have to consider when the ducks are over with, what to do with it with Alice and and the sheriff about an investigation. Do we hold a hearing? What do we need to do? And of course, if we have any more, we'll add them to the party. But all of that business about no provisional is because Summit County ordered ballots and they never came for the early voting in the first week.
Well, this was for their mail outs.
Right. So long story short, we have this provisional business because they ordered them. It was a Cleveland printer, right?
Yeah,
Somebody out of Cleveland, yes.
And they
Lucas
didn't get
County
them
has the
printed.
same thing.
And that's
Lucas County-
Summit County. I mean, that's a pretty good sized horse in Ohio.
mhm.
Lucas County also was having problems, as well. I don't know if that was a vendor problem or not, but my understanding, Lucas is Toledo. So there were some problems up there as well.
Well, someone told me in Delaware County that they sent 2 ballots to people. I haven't seen that news story myself to know, but that's what somebody told me. They saw one.
And of course,
I've been,
Columbus messed up on what they originally thought was 50,000 ballots, sent the wrong ballot to the voter. Turns out that some of them actually, through a quirk of fate or whatever, were correct.
Yeah.
So their number was off a bit.
Well, and I will tell you, we got a call yesterday from a fine voter, an honest voter, who lives up on Harmer Hill. She had not requested a ballot, but she received her neighbor's ballot from behind her and somebody else's ballot from down the street.
In her mailbox?
Yes.
Courtesy of the post office?
Yes.
So when I took the ballots down yesterday afternoon, my contact had already gone for the day, but I did talk to somebody else and I said, please relay this to the postmaster. This is unacceptable. And that they need to really pay attention to how they're sorting their mail. I said, luckily, this person was an honest person.
At
and told
least
us-
didn't just throw them away or whatever.
Yeah.
you know.
Or vote
Or a voter.
Yeah. Better.
So, they said that they would relay that information on to the postmaster and I can follow up with a call with him.
them. Yeah.
I did talk, a friend of mine is a mail carrier. There are a lot of subs that are working now in the post office.
Oh, I'm acutely aware of it because for those of you who know, we live in a condo with 6 units. Our mailboxes are in the back. So the postal people can drive right in, drive right up to each of the mailboxes. But we've had subs that drive right by us and don't see something they can see from their vehicle from the street, and we get no mail. They go right on by and keep going.
So are we sure that this same thing's not happening to other people who did not notify us?
There's no
No way
guarantee,
to
I mean,
know.
there's no guarantee of that. I mean, I know, we have a liaison with the US Postal Service that has contacted us, they're out of Dayton, and has asked us to work with the postmasters. So we have been in touch, and there's a contact that I have down at the Marietta Post Office. But there's no way of knowing, because once we deliver it to them,
We
don't
expect
know what
them
happens
to
it.
send it to the address that's on the ballot.
I mean, you
and
can't,
they're under tremendous pressure. I'm not by any means, demeaning mail carriers, because they're
Yeah,
under as much pressure as we
yeah,
are.
but their sales point is that the extra number of ballots that are in the mail are like 1/50th or something extra of what they otherwise carry. That was their spiel to Congress.
Well, and maybe overall it averages out that
But
way,
the fact of the matter is that, again, yesterday I opened up my mailbox and I think there were 21 or 22 catalogs because it's
Christmas.
approaching Christmas and, Halloween still around, et cetera, and Thanksgiving and all of that. So, but 21. So they have no problem stacking 21 of those confounded things in my mailbox. So I just, to me, yes, it's extra mail, but on any given day, they could get extra mail because every catalog company in America is sending something out.
But on
They
the
seem to
bright
get-
side, we had voters that said they got their ballots in 2 days
Yeah,
and
I
brought
got
them
mine
money to
in
us.
2 days.
And Andy got hers in 2 days.
but some I know are calling in going, where is it?
Well,
So-
there was also a holiday this week, and Monday, we don't get a lot of mail because of, not having Saturday business hours at this point. So that delays it some, but a lot of the calls that I have gotten did go out that first day we were allowed to, which was last Tuesday, October 6th. So what I've told folks is that they haven't received it by the end of this week to let us know.
Yeah,
And a lot of the calls I took they were mailed out on like Friday,
Yeah,
so that went.
and again, we have those that are going at different times and so forth, but,
but the truck leaves Marietta Post Office at 6 PM. So we try to get the ballots down there so it's on that bus. And he takes what we have today, and then what we finish up this afternoon, I take down before 6.
yeah.
Okay, my question is, when we take the mail in there, it's all that, even though it's Marietta, does he get it from us?
Yes, every piece of mail from us goes to Columbus, unless you hand deliver it in there, like Dennis has said in the past, and ask for it to be sorted, and they can do it. But I think we have 700 ballots we take a day. I
Yeah, I
can't
mean, I
ask them to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
We could.
They just may not.
We could,
appreciate
but they wouldn't be our friend.
Well, and they're asking the mail carriers to count every piece of mail they deliver into us.
Yeah,
They're
and they are
already
counting
overworked.
that.
And then they're asked to count every piece of mail, that they drop off to us and pick up from us. And, they're rushed to get their routes done, just like we're rushed to get everything done that we have to do.
Are we bundling them in, set numbers?
No,
No, we have.
we do not have to sort them.
No, but I just meant,
Yeah,
put a rubber band
We
around
have-
25 or something,
Yeah.
so if you were talking about what they had to count.
Yeah, the ones we sent out last time, we did count for them. So,
But again, we have a lot of fish to fry ourselves,
Right.
so it's a question of,
well, it wasn't as
We
many the
have
last
time.
time, so that's why it
Right.
was easier then.
and are we slowing up on absentees?
Yeah, it's not as many as it had been.
I think we had 85
We said
yesterday.
85 yesterday.
How many humans are we voting this week?
We had yesterday about 530, I think it was.
So is it really pretty steady at
Yeah.
Are you
500?
talking about actually came here to
Yes.
vote?
Yeah,
Yes,
and that's not counting the people that also came in and hand delivered their ballot into us instead of.
and the week that we have voted, we have not had more than probably 10 or 15 minutes without a vote.
We probably haven't even had more than 5 minutes.
I would say.
without them.
That we've sent out, there's been over 12,000 people that have either come in to vote or requested their absentee, or we've sent their absentee. Now, that's as many as we did in the primary, correct?
Yeah. Well, and one of the things in your packet is that the statewide, it's like 3 times more than people that voted in 2016.
Yeah.
Ahead of time.
We still have people calling to ask to register,
Yeah,
and they had to have registered by October 5th at 9 PM.
right. So,
And what do you tell those people?
so
We
we
can
started,
send you a registration, but you won't be able to vote in this
Yeah.
election.
We could go yesterday.
so that'd be 5, 6 days.
That's right.
That's about 3,000
Mhm.
early vote.
Yeah.
So,
We're busy.
well, the only thing I will say is that I have tried to come here, not to be a pest, but almost every day, just to see how things are going. And be a sounding board for the ladies to say, we got to think about this or think about that if we're having, when the board meets, et cetera. And I think I stay in line. I don't take, and excuse me, I'm not voting.
Yeah.
I stand in line. And I think one day I was there with 6 people outside the board. 2 minutes, I walked in. Because, when there's that group, they always have like three, and a lot of times they have four, they'll have the four poll books going. Roughly 30 seconds, give or take. Those people are on their way down the walkway, and another group is crowded in, so 6 people goes in no time.
And we probably had, what, maybe 10 to 15 curbside voters?
Probably.
I was gonna say, I noticed the guy that came through and voted without a mask, so I'm assuming he was just being difficult.
Yeah, we
That was
had,
early on.
Yeah, we had just-
First day or
just
two.
a few people that have, you know.
One
Because
wore his
it
mask.
It won't curbside vote.
But there's been no confrontation,
No.
there's been no, any sign. The majority, the most that I've seen, that I'm granted back at my desk and not out there all the time, are people wearing political stuff, and kindly ask them to remove them, they
The
do.
people have been good.
People have been awesome, the people have been very, very good, very patient.
Well, we have a sign up now, you may have noticed, that says, please, cover up any political advertising, et cetera. Because apparently somebody challenged Melissa, and so she printed up a sign and put it out there to.
Well, she quoted the Ohio Revised. Code.
Yeah, God bless her, it was clever. She knew her stuff. So that was good. So we're good, as far as all of their problems,
Yeah, the
we're
one,
doing okay.
well, one thing that was in there, which I have on the agenda,
Ah.
they want us to draft a contingency plan for if me or Karen would get COVID-19.
If who?
Me or Karen.
They want a contingency plan that if the
If the
deputy or
director
the
or
director
deputy
gets
director
COVID,
gets.
and what you're gonna do.
All right, well, let's talk about it. You're in charge, ladies, what do we do?
I mean, the next people that know the most would be Melissa and Emily.
Right.
Exactly,
Well, that would be my take.
I would be very comfortable with that. Now, the thing is, if she and I probably have it,
Then they might
they
have.
probably get exposed. Then, I don't know if we would defer to you as the board and have a bipartisan team.
I mean, we have to try to recruit some extra people. to
Well,
come in and work.
the Democrats
We all have it.
potentially could ask Peggy.
I was gonna say that, we
I
could,
don't think the Republicans can ask the former director,
No, I don't think so.
well, you could ask someone.
but we
Well,
could.
now,
A
wait a minute.
former
You
director.
could ask
Former,
Becky,
former.
you could ask Becky Kirkbride.
That's just, I was
Well,
gonna
that's
say.
what I'm saying, that's the
Yeah.
former.
Yeah, yeah.
Former.
Because she is still a poll worker,
Right.
and I think that, if
And
that's
she
the
knows a
case,
lot of the yin and the
Yes.
yang.
Right, I mean, at least,
Yes.
maybe
Right.
not some of the newest stuff.
So I guess then our fallback would be, in my opinion, speak up, I'm just.
What was the issue with her?
Who?
Becky?
Oh, I think she just moved on to
Yeah.
something else.
yeah. I think-
Well, you mean Becky Kirkbride?
Yeah.
She basically was fired.
I know, I was asking what was it?
I think it was something that was on the ballot, like an issue or something. Something maybe
I
was
can't
spelled
remember what the
wrong,
whole,
or,
I don't remember what the issue was, but.
I think it was something like that, something.
Would it
that was-
prohibit her being?
No,
No,
It wasn't.
that was a kind of a conflict of the board and her.
Remember, this is the board that,
Got fired?
I think these are the board members
She got
that,
fired.
that we ended up
that you all
replacing
replaced.
to bring sanity to the situation.
So, no, it would be no problem with her.
No, I think
Well, if
if
she'd be
she's
willing.
been a poll worker, if she's willing to do, you could ask Peggy,
Yeah.
et cetera, that it's in an emergency situation, so on both sides, it would go down to the
I would
clerks,
say
from the
if it
clerks
came to that
down to them.
situation,
Because I think
I
Becky
would
has
give
a
them
job,
no.
a regular
Yeah.
job.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, again, she could be somewhat of a director, if you will, from afar.
Right.
Um,
So part of this plan is gonna have to be how many layers? You got one group, then you got another group.
But do we have to formally put this into writing?
How did it
Or do
say?
we just have to, the plan should include cross-training of all staff members ensuring bipartisan control of any process that requires it, hiring additional temporary staff, training board members so they can easily fill in for the director or deputy director. Additionally, boards should work with their emergency management agency and local health department as a board staff member to detect COVID. The board should follow the health guidance provided by the emergency management agency and local health departments. Board should also identify cleaning services in advance in case the board must utilize their services. Board should proactively draft a communication to the public and voters that an event that a staff contracts COVID and was working in the board office during early person voting or on election day. So, I'm assuming that sounds like we have to write something. So.
Well, I think we pretty well come to the conclusion.
Yeah, yeah.
If you two going, it's gonna go, I think we're gonna have to go with Melissa and Emily.
Mhm.
And then if we need to go further, Becky and Peggy.
Yeah, Peggy and Becky, right?
Yeah.
I think that because the only other concern I have is, the other issue is quarantine.
Yeah,
So if it sort of made it through 4 people, we may at least be on the hook for not able to come in. I mean, we might be able to conduct from afar, but by going to outside people, there's a strong possibility there won't be a contact there, and they actually could visit in. Now, the cleaning service, is anyone using a cleaning service at any of the courts?
I was gonna say, I don't know.
The courthouse?
I am not.
I believe that they just have the maintenance people spraying stuff down with cleaning. I don't think they have any actual service
Okay,
that does anything yet.
so let's at least call the maintenance people, what do you think?
Mhm.
Since we're supposed to have a plan to clean down, I guess, and put in our plan that the county maintenance department, upon notification, would come and clean
Well,
our,
we can ask them if they will do that,
well, yeah, I have.
or if they're able to. If not, I mean, we could try to get hold of like Janice or something.
Well, we at least need to find out if they will or won't, and why won't they?
Yeah.
And I suppose we could ask upstairs. Are they using maintenance people if
They're
there's
cleaning
an
their own
issue?
facilities.
Yeah, they have their own maintenance.
They have their own.
Well, would they come down and squirt our end out of an abundance of caution that it could otherwise be in the air system if we're sharing air?
We could
We
contact
inquired
them.
about that before. It was.
Well, you could, again, this is in the emergency, this is the emergency situation.
Right.
We're not looking for, vacuuming.
Right.
We're looking for a COVID, I'm assuming they're trained to spray.
My other thing is too, and I need to call the health department. We talked about this at the primary. We're having hundreds of people coming through this office every day. And we have had our numbers increase a little bit here. We never got a definitive answer from them that we don't have to know who it
Who the
is,
person is.
but they can look up and see who's voted. I mean, that's gonna be huge in contact tracing. Because I think we're gonna be liable to inform the other voters that were there that day that there was an active case in this building.
I would think so.
But I didn't get anywhere now it's, we've learned a lot more about the disease and everything and the tracing, so, I think I need another call in to the director and
So
say,
it's your responsibility to do the tracing?
I believe the health department does the tracing, but if there was if somebody
Who was sick,
was sick that was positive and voted that day,
they potentially,
they could
Exactly, a lot of
potentially,
that were also here.
yeah.
And if we don't know, we can't tell them.
Have you contacted the health department about whether the staff plus temporary staff should be tested on a weekly basis for COVID?
I have not, but I can.
I'm just wondering, do you think that would be a wise thing,
Mm-hmm.
just on behalf of our own employees, to arrange some kind of testing? So at least you would be aware that, yeah, I mean, because at this point, we have no way of knowing that voter yesterday gave you COVID, you
Right.
didn't know.
I mean, unless we start getting sick.
Well, to be sure, but you may, you know, you may be
Well, we
one of
could be
those
completely asymptomatic and
asymptomatic
still
for days,
spread.
a week or something, and you'd probably want, you know, with family at home, you know,
Yeah.
you'd want to get them then tested and so forth, and see
Right,
whether
we
you have
would,
to stay
yeah.
away.
I will tell you, I think those shields are helping definitely there at the front.
Oh, I think, yes,
I
I think
think
they're
that because-
absolutely.
Even if they get up that
Are you
close.
folks wearing gloves when you're handling things? Do you
No.
handle the license?
I've not worn gloves.
I haven't worn gloves, but when I've worked up there, I do touch the license.
Yeah.
Because the person is handing it to you.
Mhm. And we've had some voters come in that were fully garbed, with gloves. And,
You know,
we had one person that had to get
I'd
on.
be surprised if my wife didn't at least come with gloves
Mhm.
and a mask.
We are wiping
She
down the
goes virtually
stylus,
everywhere
so,
that
I mean,
way.
we're wiping everything
If
down.
you handle the
Yeah.
license, you
And I
can use
assume
the
your
sanitizer,
your
and
hands
you
were
get
clean as
Right.
well, just.
And that,
Yeah.
my view is gloves are not.
What a headache.
good
And we have
for
lots of hand
Well, you
sanitizer
need to
out.
change
and-
gloves every
all
time.
that kind of-
So
We
you'd
learned
be
that
better
about
off,
eating.
yeah, you'd be better off to, when you handle that license, to sanitize your hands,
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I'm a big, if I touch something, I'm sanitizing my hands.
Well, again, that may be the easier route, but if you want to wear gloves to grab a license, leave that up to folks.
But I will call the health department and ask those questions about testing for employees, and then if somebody would be a positive number and.
Yeah, because I guess you have to ask, is it at all misleading, you know, about when they got ill? Because again, they're only gonna know if they were tested or they arrived at the doctor or hospital and they said, you have COVID. So obviously, anybody that's asymptomatic for a long time may not.
And I don't know how they're doing that. I think in West Virginia, people must be getting texts, because I heard a commercial or something on the news that if you get a text saying that you have been around somebody, they're requesting that you quarantine for 10 days. And I think that maybe people weren't adhering to that, and that's why that was on the news. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously I've never been around somebody that's had it, because I'm not getting any calls or.
Yeah, I mean, every time you go anywhere, they always ask you, you know, you
Yeah.
go to a doctor or whatnot. I mean, been out of the country, blah, 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 no.
So, but yeah, I will contact the health department and see what their current protocol is and how that works.
And see if
whether-
they're, again, the thought process on, you know,
Now-
how effective will this be, or are we gonna be scaring people that they
Is
got
that-
COVID after they voted, not?
That testing, is that something that the board will provide? We'll pay for that?
Oh, we have to.
Okay.
I just, again, when you think about how many people you got,
I'm
you see,
Yeah, I mean, we've
But
had.
I will tell you, the
thousands
social
of
people,
so.
the voters are great.
Yeah.
They're social distancing, they're not, you know, if they're, say a couple comes in and a wife, she'll wait for her husband, but they're social distancing. I mean, I think the voters, it's ran as smoothly as an operation as we
well,
currently can.
I applaud everything you're doing, because I voted, and so I've experienced it, it's just it's a well-oiled machine. You know, it's just nothing we've ever experienced, and we keep learning on the fly. And the latest thing I heard from the doctor, who seemed to, again, these are talking heads on TV, so you don't know. But he said, I think it was, we found that gene 35 is mutated in the virus. That's how he starts it out. And he goes, as a result of that, we know now it is far more contagious than the original. But what we're thinking, but I cannot, don't quote me yet, it is not as lethal now.
The second mutation.
Yeah. But he said, we're also a lot smarter than we were 4 months ago. We know a lot more than we did know. So it could be we're better at treating it. But he said, a lot of us are thinking that when we get done with the studies and the stats, that it's not as lethal. So that's a good thing.
When did you hear that?
I don't remember, it was 2 days ago on some program. And it was a doctor they had on whose specialty is infectious disease, and he was from New Jersey, and his hospital is involved in all of the COVID.
Is he the one that had it?
No, he's not the guy who got really ill, no.
Yes.
But he had it. This guy has had it, but he didn't get real ill.
Yeah.
He said, I feel better than I've ever felt. Now, the other thing that happened yesterday, I caught this on the investment channel, whatever, 52 or whatever on my system. Eli Lilly and one other that I could never think of their name, they're out in California, have suspended both of their trials because of a bad reaction.
Not for the vaccine.
One's the vaccine and one is the viral treatment. And I think one of the names is like Remdesivir or whatever.
Yeah, I think
They
that's what
have
the president
suspended because of a problem. And again, they said this is common. You know, doesn't mean the end of it. It's just common that we're trying to figure out, because we don't even know if at this moment, we know the person's in the study, but we hide, you know, with layers of hiding whether this person had a placebo or the real thing. We don't know.
Yeah.
We just know, you know.
But I
like your
understand there's
health
also been
condition.
a patient that has contracted it again.
Yeah.
And they don't think it might not be as severe as the first one, but
Yeah.
he has contracted it again.
Yeah.
They say, well, the report I saw or heard said that the second one is more severe than the first one's what I heard.
Who knows?
No, like I said, this guy said it's mutated less, and they said, we know for sure it's more contagious. That we can tell you, but the other side was good.
Yeah.
So anyway, Mr. and Mrs. Syke got flu shots yesterday.
Oh, I need to do that.
And we got
And the
the
money.
high dose and the 4 from the city health. I think county health may only be giving 3 strains of flu.
So you went down.
But we went with the high dose because when you're over, they say over 65. But I was talking to one of the nurses and they said virtually everybody wants the high dose.
Oh, yeah.
Well, everybody has
Because
to be
it's,
protected more.
because it's that factor of 4, oddly enough. It's 4 strains, and that shot high dose is 4 times stronger than the regular flu vaccine.
Wow.
Is your arm sore?
No,
The reason I asked the question,
I mean, there's
the
always
guys
just
that I
a
was
little.
with yesterday said, I was so sore after I got that high dose.
Yeah, see, I didn't even feel it. I mean, if I push on it, I know I got a shot.
I did the shingles with the flu.
but
It was painful.
I heard the shingles is very painful.
No, my husband, he got the flu shot, where he works, they gave him out to everybody, and he had kind of a reaction on his arm, he had like a huge bump, like a welt, kind of, that came, but he's allergic to everything.
Yeah.
But,
so anyway, I didn't have a problem. The city, they're doing it, I think the city is Monday and Tuesday at the health department. And you pretty much, you can call, and we did, but they said, oh, we don't have anybody. So we waddled right up and signed a document and got a shot and waddled out.
Where's the city at?
The old Selby Hospital across the street from the city building, that yellow building across from the city building.
It's up on the
Right
second
behind
floor.
the church. Real easy, second floor, take the elevator,
Yeah,
they
take the
even have the
elevator.
signs says.
Right
flu
across from the
shot.
mayor's office.
So it's, and we've gone there for years. Our law firm always took the staff over and got a flu
Usually
shot.
I know the county is
Yeah.
doing it, if anybody hasn't gotten theirs, the county is doing it for county employees, I think it's sometime next
I
week.
think it's the 20th.
Yeah, I didn't think, I didn't look at it because I knew I couldn't get
it
it from there, so. But the health department over here, I think they still have a drive-through clinic this week.
Actually.
Drive-through is done.
Oh, they've already
Wednesdays,
finished, okay,
I think they're open a little later.
Okay.
Or like till 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or they were, I don't know if they still are. They have been before.
But anyway, we were gonna do the county, but when we called them, they said, well, their drive-through ended Tuesday
okay.
or Monday, and it was Tuesday, so I called the city and they were open for business. Well, anyway.
Yeah, I did want to talk about the delivery crew, stipend. And then from that we've done before. Last time you gave them $400.
Right. Now, they're making a fair amount, a lot of these delivery guys, right?
They're working.
They're working,
They're
they're
working
time, you
here.
get paid for that.
Right. And we pay them for their work when they work, right?
Right,
And then the stipend has been like an attaboy.
right, like a bonus.
Right. Okay.
Before we do that, who is, going to put down the, tape and so forth?
We're gonna have the poll workers do that. Because the guys didn't think when they're delivering that they'd have enough time to get to all their,
Well, that's why I asked, because one of the
Yeah.
polls, those guys delivered, said, you know, we will not have time to do all the taping if we do all the setups, so,
yeah.
so, that's good.
And people that hear, we didn't even have any tape down, and they kind of stay, apart from each other, so that's good.
Well, do we need a motion for the, stipend?
Well,
And
I-
did you
Yeah,
want to
for how
talk
much?
about you had it down? Were you suggesting more or less?
I would say at least the same, I wouldn't go any less.
This is the most, dramatic voting situation
Oh,
we
yeah.
had. So it should be more than what we always give out, I think.
I mean, that's what I would, and they've been really good helping us out. I mean, I know we are paying them to be here, but, I mean, they're not doing it for the money. I mean, they're not getting,
I agree with you, I mean, you
Are
know.
we good on cash?
I haven't seen the budget, so
Well, there's a copy of it in there. I mean, we don't have a ton, but I mean, we have enough.
I think we need to, because I have,
That we can
I
do
have
that.
314 poll workers right now signed up. If all 314,
It's the, that's a printout that the
They're
auditors.
gonna get
I know, I saw it.
Yeah,
We had 400
I
out
did
there
it.
last time.
yeah, I got one here.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. I
So
looked at it.
Oh, yeah.
I would say something like
Oh,
600.
here we go. I got a bunch of loose stuff right here. There it is.
okay,
I put it right behind the agenda,
So
so
this was at the end of, September, but we were at 215.
what line item seasonal?
Yeah. But I mean, we can move some from other line items up to.
so this 215 is the rest of the budget for everything.
Right. That's our total, what we got left.
So we have to go back to the commissioners to.
If we have any left, yeah, they would take it back.
What is the personal, oh, that's everybody.
Yeah, that's fringe and everything.
On the far right is what we have left.
Yeah. Under each line item.
What's the COVID-19, the 1298?
That was, they had us move, they wanted to track some services back in the spring that we used for COVID-19, so they had us move some money from another line item in there, and we used that to pay for some.
So is the grant money in here?
Stuff. No.
The grant money is not in here.
Right.
Okay.
So we have roughly 40,000 between poll worker seasonal.
Right.
And when did you
I mean,
kind of do a quick
The poll workers, we're
calculation?
probably gonna use all that, the rest of that for poll workers.
Well,
If we, if we pay that many, if that many work, like she was saying.
How much of this 8,000 you think of the seasonal workers we're gonna be using?
We're probably gonna use pretty much all of that.
So we can't, so we, what do we usually take the stipend out of?
Well, we'll
Seasonal?
probably, yeah, we'll take it from that if we have the money in there.
Well, right now we have training at 2,000. Are we gonna be tapping that line item?
No, probably not.
right now, if 314 poll workers
Or
Show
get
up.
paid, right?
and I averaged it out because it's between $101 and $111 or $15 for managers. So I averaged it out to about $105. That's $32,970. If that's all 340. Now,
And we're looking,
we also have
right,
temporary poll workers that have worked all last week. Sheila's been here since the middle of, the first of
Or in
September.
August, she was here some in August.
In August.
Yeah.
well, how many workers are we having a day? Would you say?
We're having,
About 7 or 8.
7 to 8,
All right, so call it 7.5, and how much do we pay a day?
$9 an hour.
Is it pretty much 8 or?
Yeah, pretty much 8 hours.
So, how much
So
is,
$72 times 8 is $576 a day that we're paying the current temporary employees.
so we have, this week, we'll have 5 days. Did we already, probably, we didn't pay for last week
No,
yet
not
either?
yet. No.
So
because we put
potentially
that
call
payroll
it 10
on
days,
Friday.
right? So that's, and then next
That's
week is,
5,760.
so I'm just saying, then the next week was 5 days at least, right? Are we gonna have some of them stay over?
We'll probably have to.
We'll have to.
And then is there another week? I've lost track.
There's 4 weeks altogether.
We have,
We're on week
3
2.
weeks from yesterday is the
So
election
we
day.
got two 10s, so that's at least 5,000 a pop, right? Or 5,000 a
576.
week, or is that 5,000 every 2 weeks?
5,000, okay.
How much is it a day times 20?
720 is, then times 2. 1,440 a person. Oh, wait. 9 times 8 and 40.
Oh, just tell me how much a day.
So about 1,300 a day, probably, right?
Times 20.
Times 1. $576 a day is what we spent, then times 2 weeks,
Well, there's gonna be 4 weeks of them,
yeah.
so it's actually 20 days is a low number
11,520,
for
the full.
20 days. Okay.
So our seasonal thing is 2,000, the 3,000 short already.
But we've got grant money that we can use for poll workers. And how much is left in the grant, the CARES?
That's what I need to go over. I need to call the auditor's office and go over that with them.
Okay. I mean,
So you do have grant money that we can use for
we
more.
can.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
I
I
wonder-
wonder use for the seasonal workers too.
Are the gentlemen expecting to hear about,
I think we
No,
ought to
they're not
table it until next month.
Yeah, I mean, they're not asking about it, I just want to get
so
the
we
ball rolling
can, so
on
we
it.
can think about it and vote on
I
an
think-
election day?
On election day, or we may have to have a special, we're
By
probably
then,
gonna have a
we'll
special meeting.
hopefully know peers and
Right,
we'll actually know how much, because we'll have
Post-election.
figured out how much they're working on a Saturday or a Sunday,
These are still-
et cetera.
Counting.
So we gotta.
Because we're gonna have to have a certain
She's
number.
gotta get that.
Right.
I see
That's
some
more than
we'll talk
two in the
about
back
it.
room and at least 4 out front.
yeah, well, there would be,
In November.
Well,
You're probably gonna be working on
Yeah,
balance.
Right,
we
and
can
answer
make
the
one
phone.
tonight, today anyway.
Ringing each other at the phone.
right,
I
that's
agree.
ringing nonstop.
Yeah, so you'll probably have at least 2 minimum. If you have 2 clerks, then you got
Right,
minimum 2, plus 2 in the.
The other thing I wanted to ask about
So that's
too,
4.
Monday was a holiday, it's a state holiday,
Well,
and we had to work, yes.
Columbus
Columbus
Day.
Day,
It's state or federal?
both,
Both. It just isn't a muni court day.
yeah. So,
Courthouse closed.
I don't think,
no mail.
I think I can speak on behalf of Mandy. I don't care about us, but the other 2 employees are non-salaried employees. Granted, they get time and a half for the time they worked on Monday, but should they not get another floater day since they actually worked that day?
or double time.
so what you're saying is that it's Columbus Day is a paid holiday
Yes,
for all Washington County employees,
except us.
Right,
except you, because you,
We had to be open. The Secretary of State said we had to be open.
okay. So we need to have Secretary of State send us a memo.
yeah. Normally, they let us close, but since it's a presidential election, I think that's why they have
Yeah.
us here.
So I'm wondering, should that be a personal day that they can take another time? I'm just trying to be fair to them.
Well, you know, I understand what you're saying. The other side of it is, they worked, I agree, but we paid them time and a half. So they were compensated.
Well, you don't pay them time and a half, you give them time and a half of compensation. They don't get overtime.
Why not?
We're not allowed
Because
to.
we come from, that's what this
They
is.
get time off later.
Yeah.
They don't get paid.
We don't pay them.
They don't
Well,
get
they
paid.
get, well, depending, if they were to leave employment,
Right,
we're gonna pay them.
Yeah,
And that's why the government the commissioners want those numbers
I know.
knocked down, and right now, we have some people that may not have to work for half the year.
well, next year, yeah,
I'm
we
just
can.
chuckling,
Let's
but,
just hope that we don't have a primary and then each of us can take some time off.
yeah.
Well, what are you asking us to do?
I'm asking you to consider paying Emily and Melissa, giving them another personal day, since they had to work their state holiday. And yes, they did get compensation for it through comp time, but that's still another day less than other county employees have been able, that they've got as a paid holiday.
My question is, would we get audited, if we get audited, or paying them twice?
That's something we probably have to ask the auditor.
And
That was
Or
gonna
the
be my,
prosecuting attorney.
my feel was we either talk to Allison or the auditor,
Okay,
or both.
okay.
Again, I have no problem, working it out. I just don't wanna be in a position where we're either asking them to kick money back that they've already
Yeah.
sort of obligated for
Right.
Lord knows what.
Mhm.
Or they're telling the board, that it has to come out of the budget, or it has to come out of our pockets, or
And I can
whatever,
talk, I'm
because
not
we didn't
sure,
ask.
well, Joseph was called in on Monday.
Yeah, on his
not by us unfortunately, but by our vendor, which thankfully he did come in and do. So I just need to see, like, I'm sure the sheriff's office, you know, they've had people working. I gotta find out what other agencies have done, if they've had to have somebody come in, or if they just, you know. But we don't pay, is it a county-wide thing that they don't pay overtime, or is
Yeah.
it just a board?
No, it's the whole county.
It is the county,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, the whole.
That way they know the budgeting.
okay. I'll investigate, we can talk about it at the next meeting as well.
I think that's another thing you can just make sure that
Yeah.
what we do is
Yeah.
legal and.
Well, I'm just afraid, and I don't think anything would ever happen, but if they could go to the Department of Labor and say, hey, I had to work
Sell
a
me
paid
water
holiday.
bill,
I got
warranty.
Yeah,
It's not
warranty,
work,
yeah, I
but
get
shouldn't I
those.
still get
Or you
another
want to cruise someone.
Yeah.
paid
No, I
holiday?
didn't.
You know what I mean? I'll find out, I'll do some investigating.
Or they want to know who you voted for.
Okay, so the other thing we will get to know is, because Mandy said she will check on where we are on all our monies.
Yes, we need
Yeah,
to find
we
out,
need to get a hold of the
we need to find out where we are.
Because we really do, because we want to make sure that if we're able to pay a certain group of people, that we put them in that stack, so that we're not just coming out of this.
Because
and
at
then
this
we're-
point, even though I have 314, I am only taking names. People are still calling in to be poll workers, bless their hearts. Thank you very much, Washington County. But I'm putting them on a kind of reserved list in case, because I need to know where we are budget-wise for.
Well, again,
Yeah.
and then we know that there's a limit to how many people we really, New Matamoras doesn't get to have a lot of extra poll workers.
Right.
But they're still gonna have some, right now.
11 human beings are supposed to occupy that entire building.
What did
at
I
a time.
tell you? The fairgrounds had 64,
65 or something.
65
Yeah.
have been assigned to the Washington County Fairgrounds.
Poll workers?
Yes,
Good Lord.
Yeah, we don't need that many.
Oh, no, yeah. How
So-
many, we have what, 8 or 9?
precincts
Eight
in that.
precincts.
8 precincts.
So that's 32, you know.
There's
We have
47 at Belford.
Yeah,
Now,
but
not
again,
all of those are going, I see, and
No, I
that's because this
understand
list
you've
is
gotta-
very fluid because they have to take the training, the in-person training, they have to take the online training
yeah.
before I can even consider them. So that's why my list is,
No, I
So,
understand,
yeah,
you're
this-
gonna have some people fall off who won't train.
yeah.
Okay, well, that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking 32 is a massive number there.
So then,
When you consider you're gonna have like, what,
Or,
7
yeah, the
poll
fair- no, at
books?
the fairgrounds, it'd be 32.
Is it like 7 poll books?
Yeah.
So you got 7 people there, and after that, you have, of course, the manager, so that's 8. How many more people do you need? 2 for provisionals, and,
but you need people cleaning, you need people
and then you,
ushering, and-
yeah, so, but I'm just saying, so you have, let's say, 4 cleaners and 4 whatever, so that's 8. Plus the 8 is 16. And add 2 more for the provisionals, that's 18. What else do you need? Just saying. So, I mean, 32 would be a whopping number.
I mean, I'd be happy if we had that. I mean, I think that'd be.
I got an ungodly amount in Paul. I don't know what we're doing these people, so,
Well, again, at Paw Paw, you have to really limit because you're gonna be tripping over a lot.
I know.
And again, we may
It's
not,
nice to
we may be learning that we're not gonna have the turnout on
That's the
election day.
minimum.
Right, because we're gonna vote everybody
Because
in.
there's so many people voting.
We only got 30,000 left to vote.
Yeah,
We've already voted 12.
This isn't on the agenda, but you guys, I know you have visited all the polling locations in the past. Is that still something that the board is interested in doing?
I think we're gonna play that by ear on that day, don't you think, to see how things are
well, I
going?
think we have to, I think, again, Charlie and I have said this 100 times. The poll workers love
Yeah,
to give us a hard time.
I know, yeah.
But they do it in a friendly way of, hey, they came out. But we also get to hear a problem, and now and
And
again,
see the problem.
we see the problem, but also we hear from another polling location, they have the same problem.
Yeah,
And we've shared before, hey, they did this, and it fixed it at the poll book or whatnot. You know, and they were going, oh, we misunderstood the phone call. That's why it's not working, because our explanation, you know, we got was, here's the buttons you push, et cetera. And that lingo worked better than the phone call for some reason, or whoever heard it misunderstood it, and they never got it fixed.
I
So I think
personally,
it's good.
if I could, I want to see every polling location, but obviously that's not gonna happen to me. So you guys can be our ears and eyes.
Well, you know,
If
like
you go,
I said,
particularly this year, because we want to make sure, and I have relayed this, and we've lost some location managers this year. I'm gonna have some new location managers. And that I have emphasized this, the way it's set up is the way it needs to stay.
Yeah,
Because we have set those things will be set up for social distancing, for safety precautions. I know in the past we've had some location managers or people that like to move some things around, and it's imperative that that does not happen. So if I can have, you know, just a couple of you going out and making sure that because that's, God forbid, we do something and then something horrible
Dennis and I have
happens.
always handled the western part of the county. We have always gone out. You know, the eastern side, I don't know.
Nobody wants to be in the law.
Well, you get Kadeem's butt in your car and go.
well, and either that, or we'll do what we did, and we'll visit all of them.
Yeah, you'll just all.
And so we'll just
That's
ask
what
if
I prefer.
Kadeem will go, and we'll all go. Charlie knows exactly where to go, he knows every side street, road, and he thrills you with, oh, I know those people, I coached that boy back there.
Yeah,
But anyway,
I think it's good.
we've had a good time, we've
Yeah.
enjoyed it, we think that it's good for our public relations.
I think it is too.
And I think we're gonna wanna see,
Yeah,
are you adhering to things? Because sometimes it just helps when the board shows up, yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Did you send Kadeem an email on it?
the $20, I don't know.
I haven't sent one yet, I can.
Well,
Um,
I'll tell you what. You send the email,
Okay.
and you tell her
Tell her
that
she
we
got a
paid,
deal.
and Charlie paid her $20.
Okay, I'll
You
tell
owe
her.
Charlie.
Yeah, well, it'll be a lot easier. She
I
can just
know,
come
Charlie.
next door or
This
send the
is for the
secretary
food
over. and
For
pay.
election day, I don't want people to think that we're paying people off.
We do not use county money to buy food.
Exactly, the board members.
We
provide it.
personally pay for it.
You wanna pass
So
it?
when you send that email, you tell her I paid for it. You know how quickly she pays for it.
So I make a motion, I make a motion to end the meeting.
I don't know that.
Or did we wanna
we're-
do the deputy, the sheriff's deputy thing?
Yes. Did they decide not to come?
Okay, yes, I talked to them,
Who says?
the sheriffs and the police chiefs. Belpre Church of Christ is not in the Belpre city limits.
All right, so it's
I
coming.
forgot about that. So, I talked with, Brian
Sure.
Shook,
Yeah.
who has indicated he's had several conversations with you about this, Chairman.
A lot of times
And he
he's
gave
on
me-
the witness
I
stand.
know, and he's given me his personal cell phone number, so if you would like to discuss this further, he said, he had a doctor's appointment today, otherwise he was going to join us. But he said that this has come up in the past. He said, due to personnel, he doesn't have the personnel to put somebody there all day long. What they are going to do is any deputy patrolling that area go through there several times throughout the day. Now, I did not hear back from Chief Hupp for here in Marietta. But Major Shook said that if you had further concerns, he would be glad. He was also gonna come and talk to us a little bit about de-escalating any kind of confrontations. And I still may have him come in to one of our trainings and talk to people about that. I may have him come in even the night that we Monday night and talk to the location managers.
Right.
So they have a better, clear idea
Right.
of what is expected of them as that. So I may ask Brian to come in for that. But he just said due to personnel, he really could not put a deputy into the location all day long.
Could we, not that I
Now,
want to do that, but could we force that issue?
Well,
Yes.
yeah, we could.
That's what I thought.
We could, because they actually worked for the board that day. So I don't, I'm gonna leave it up to you, Chairman, however you wanna.
Well, I don't think we want to push that.
He said at one time, there was an unmarked, I don't know if it was an unmarked car, but a plainclothes detective that went in to vote. And they wouldn't let him vote because, I think he said because he had his badge on.
I think he had a gun.
He had a gun.
Oh, he had a gun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, it was a lady,
oh, okay, okay.
and she had a weapon.
Well, but
you.
if our polling locations already allow guns in there, we can't do anything.
Back then, they didn't. As a matter of fact, law prohibited firearms at a voting location.
Oh, okay.
And he said, my deputies are always on duty, even though she wasn't on duty,
But she's always on call.
but she's always on call, on duty.
Yeah.
And we said, well, you have to understand, our poll worker did the right thing. We had no way of
I mean, they
knowing.
don't know
What
that.
we want you to do, and he agreed, is that when they go to vote, they immediately notify the poll people that I am an officer,
Okay.
and therefore I have a badge and I have a weapon.
Okay.
Because otherwise you have poll workers who potentially see a weapon.
And,
And in this day and age, if you can carry your own, God knows if somebody wouldn't end up shooting somebody.
well, and I tell you, the more I listen to the news and everything, and, you know, we have a candidate, a nationwide candidate that's asking people to observe the polls. Please understand, you have to file to be an observer.
Oh, yes,
Right.
we are,
And that's one of my big concerns, that if we would have a contingency of people that want to come in, we can ask them to leave, right? Because they are not registered
Oh,
as
yeah.
observers
Oh, we
with
have
us.
to tell them to leave.
yes,
Okay.
because it's loitering.
Okay.
And again, if they won't leave, then the phone call.
Then we would
To
be
the
calling.
sheriff.
Should we, or you as the board, put out a statement or a letter to the editor or something to that effect? Nope.
Yeah, I'd say no.
The only reason I say that is that's just grabbing the red
That's
flag
just gonna give them the
and
idea.
asking the bull, do you like the color?
Okay.
Because you will have someone who will want to challenge it.
I'll be like, oh, I didn't
Say
think of that. That's a
no.
good idea.
No, I'm getting my AK-47 out, strapping it right on my back, and here I go. Got my carry permit, and
Okay.
you'll have poll workers quitting on the spot. I mean, we've had poll worker problems, and that's another thing the observers and your poll workers need to know. An observer is there to watch. They may not tell a poll worker they're doing it improperly. They can contact their lawyers, their party,
Our office.
or the board office. But they're not to be, because we had an observer years ago who intimidated two or three of the poll workers. Charlie and I had to go out because they wanted to quit. Because he was threatening them with, you're doing it illegally, blah, 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 and he stared at them and pointed, and they were quitting. And we went, I know, it was at Stone Elementary, where we had a polling location in Belpre. And we went in there and calmed the poll workers down, and I had a brief discussion with the observer about, you will observe, if you say another word,
You're out.
you'll be out of here, and most likely I'll see if I can't get you arrested for trespass. So if you don't like what I'm saying, call your party, call your lawyer, and they can talk with us. But you keep your mouth shut. You're here to observe.
right now, I think you said we have received,
Yeah, we had received some from the Ohio Republican Party.
Oh, yeah, they're,
so, and that's how many have they?
I think there was four.
and they're probably gonna wanna be at some of the larger ones maybe, or their personal,
Yeah.
whatever they're interested.
Well, and they
And we
turned
usually
in,
have one that shows up here that likes the food.
I don't think,
Oh.
I haven't seen an application. I don't, do you have to approve that as the board, or we just have to have the?
We just have to accept receipt it or acknowledge it, the
Yeah.
staff tells us, et
Okay.
cetera.
Okay,
I
Are they
don't,
liquid?
none of the ones from the Ohio Republican Party were okay.
a lot of them comes from Columbus and.
Yeah.
yeah, and again, they may be walking through.
And they may not even show up.
Yeah.
They didn't show up at.
They didn't show up for the
primary.
primary.
Right, so a lot of times they don't, because they find there's something else going on, but they
Right.
wanna have the ability to show up in
If
case
they
word
want to.
gets there's a flappo with so.
And I know we are gonna get one from the Washington County Democratic Party, they used to have their meeting Monday. No,
No,
Not until
third,
the third, yeah. Or the
sorry,
first.
third Monday,
Well, we've had them
So next
from
month.
the local organizations.
yeah.
Yeah.
Before in the past,
Yeah.
Randy did it once. and
Yeah,
I think
remember
he did-
Paul Burke, God bless him, he enjoyed the food, I remember that.
Jennifer Garrison. one
And
time.
Jennifer did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually walked away going, man, this is complex.
Yeah. She was very good in her remarks on what we did. I remember that.
Yeah, she gave everybody high marks.
Well,
So they
I think observers in our area, they see what it is
Yeah.
and what's going on, and they really appreciate it.
So the observers can be in the polling locations and also in here with us all day
Yeah,
at the board, okay. Do they
For-
specify?
Yeah, they have to
yeah, they have to
specify.
specify where they're gonna be.
Yeah,
Okay,
and for early voting, they could be in here watching us do early voting.
Yeah.
okay.
And that could happen.
But at any rate, I will tell,
But just tell they're just there to observe, so relax, if you find someone's doing something, let us know, because the board will be traveling
okay,
to all of the polling locations, so you could give us a heads up and
mhm,
they'll be aware. And if it's something real emergency, please let us know. And again, if the office, everybody should get the dispatch numbers and so forth if there's a problem, so they can call immediately to dispatch
okay,
and
okay.
have somebody shipped immediately to them and so forth. The big thing, I think, will be to have them drive through. Again, Barlow is out there a ways, so it's not like Marietta's close, Belpre's sort of the same thing.
Mhm.
So if they can make trips through those two locations, and then if there's a problem somewhere else, we'll direct them there. I would just assume, not that I want the sheriff not to do it, but if the city of Marietta can visit the fairgrounds, that would certainly be handy as well.
The only thing I would consider down there too is if the parking, and there's nothing down there, it's not like we had,
Yeah, we don't have the
oil and gas
workers.
industry down there now, but if parking, because, there's no line to park, we're the only parking
Yeah,
line
but-
is gonna be handicapped, correct?
Yeah, but I'm here to tell you, we've been there countless times with cars. Parking is not a problem,
Okay, okay. that's
not a
fine.
problem.
I
Okay,
mean,
People they figure out, hey, I can't park there because I blocked so-and-so, that kind of a thing. Don't anticipate a problem. The biggest thing will be the signage to make sure they're going through the kitchen, because that'll be totally new to all the experienced
mhm,
voters there. They're gonna wanna make that left-hand turn,
yeah,
and that's an exit only.
okay.
So it's just the signage and so forth will be important. So frankly, to at least start things,
Mhm.
probably ask the manager or someone to brave the conditions and go, oh, over here, we're going in this way.
Okay, very good, very good.
And I think we'll be good.
Okay.
All right.
Um,
Did the boys, do we have all of the bright yellow electrical cord covers purchased?
No, I need to get the purchasing.
Okay.
Yeah. But
And
they did go through and.
what about,
inventory.
what about, lengthy, heavy-duty extensions?
Yeah,
et
they
cetera?
Yeah, those, but I need to purchase all of that.
Okay, so they're,
They did an
we're on
inventory
top.
of them all, and they know, we know what we need at each
Right.
location.
Have we gotten rid of the,
The voting.
The
the voting booths?
No, not at this point, I haven't gotten.
Gotta get a hold of the high
I
school.
know, I know.
Because you haven't seen, we have our sneeze screen, maybe you have one to show when we go
They're in
back
the
out.
office.
They're in the office, we'll show you. The Career Center is making our sneeze guards for the,
Polling
polling
location.
locations.
So we
Did
have,
they see them when we did the envelopes?
I saw it, but I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, it's in, where the handicap are voting, disabled are voting, but we'll go in and show you.
But
Very
anyway-
well done,
We need room to store them.
yeah,
And the first place that comes to mind is where all those
yeah.
voting booths are along the wall. I mean, we're just running out of space.
Well, that's the other thing, Jed did say, and we might have to get that truck early, because he was gonna, they're gonna have those finished for me by Friday,
Okay.
so we might have to get the rental
Well,
truck.
I think we have it from that Thursday to, that
Okay.
Thursday to Thursday.
Because
So,
they'll have to go up there to the Career Center and get them, and
yeah.
we'll have to.
Okay, so if that works, that's fine. So we're good on did we need to approve the contract or have we already done that?
I think you already did.
Cool.
Yeah, one of the
All
others.
right, so then that's off our plate, okay? Is there anything else on our plate?
That was it.
I just had something, I can't remember.
You're talking about pole, or pole, go ahead.
Okay, just so you guys have a better understanding, when somebody does come in and want an in-person vote, even though they've requested a ballot, we ask them to bring that ballot into us, so we can spoil that ballot. And then they can vote on the machines, they don't have to vote provisionally in here. But in the polling locations, they will have to vote provisionally. I'm hoping, and a lot of people have brought them back in. Have brought them back in, but we need those ballots, obviously, we won't have to account for those
Yeah, I
ballots.
had a gentleman call me the other day, and he screwed up his ballot. I said, well, the easiest thing for you to do is bring, I don't know, Alan Anderson to show up.
I don't know.
Yeah, I said, the easiest thing for you to do is take it back into the board office,
Mhm.
tell them you need another one, and have them soil your ballot, and get another one. I said, that's the easiest, the best way to do it.
Yeah.
He said, that's what I'll do, I'll get and do that.
Or while he's here, he could just vote.
Yeah.
Right, or that, yeah.
And we'll soil it for him there and
Yeah.
let him vote.
So, but, we're keeping our head above the water. It's
So
interesting that-
equipment wise, we're good, paper wise, we're good,
Yeah.
toner wise, we're good.
I know what I wanted to tell you. The system that we are using now to check in and receive and certify the ballots is working perfectly. We're taking a stack of them, we're receiving them into the computer. We then run a report where we check it with what we received, and everything is working out perfectly. So,
We won't have the
We won't have the missing
ballot
numbers.
envelopes.
195.
yes,
We'll be moving apace smoothly. That's
Yes.
good.
yes.
Excellent.
So like I say, if any of you guys have time in the next couple of weeks and you want to come in, if you can start slicing and unfolding, and then Mandy and I can start scanning possibly by the first of next week.
If you guys wanna come in and long knife any of the, you won't really have the long knife.
Yeah, well, as long as the buzzer's
But if you wanna,
working.
yeah, it'll be working, but if you wanna come in and take any balance out of envelopes, that'd be appreciated.
And thank you for your work last week.
Yeah, with the envelopes.
Appreciate it.
You know, again, what you're talking about. Don't think about the third teachers and then slice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Oh, we have about 9 Youth at the Booth students as well that will be working at the polls. From Marietta, the Career Center, Fort Fry, and Warren Schools. One girl lived in Athens County, said she had to work for Athens, from Warren Schools.
Really?
Yeah.
I live in that Fort Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know there's, you get out in the Cutler area,
This here.
very close to Athens County.
Yeah, yeah.
I just blocked that in.
Unless you feel like coming in, we'll probably be here by 5:30.
Right.
Oh, yeah, what time do you want to meet? on
We're
Thursday?
going to, at least, we should aim to be here at 6 in the morning.
That's what we usually do.
So if you're early, that's fine. They'll be here at 5:30 probably. And,
Not like that quarter, but first.
we'll be ready to rumble.
And hopefully we'll have results. Nothing that, or
Oh,
Tuesday
we
night.
will.
We will have results.
We will.
Now, whether Ohio, I think, I'm very comfortable. I think Ohio will know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very
I mean,
comfortable in our
Ohio, I
system.
think it's gonna be fine.
I think Ohio will know. It'll be the Floridas,
I mean, we'll have unofficial results.
the Illinois.
Well, I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
All right.
And all in favor?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Joseph.
ladies.
Probably here on May 30th.
You're welcome.